Hello, hello. It is December 8th, 2025, and I'm playing in the Lone Wolf League season. I should have checked beforehand, but you know what? Whatever. I think this is season 39. Yes, season 39. And, I've always wanted to try it. I got inspired by John Bartholomew's series when he played it himself. Now, I'm nowhere near as good as John, but I figured, okay, this could be fun, right? Like, I feel like the one thing I've never experienced in chess is preparing for my opponents. Now, granted, it'd be great if this was something I could prepare over the board against, but such is life as a sub 1500 USCF rated guy, dude. But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna give it a shot, and we'll just see what happens. Like I'm not expecting to do that well, but we'll see how it goes. Oh, you cannot see that very well. Okay, so where am I? So this is the before round one has even been played. I would be surprised if any games were played yet. This is the round one, or these are the standings in round one before anyone has played a game. So it's sorted by rating. After watching John Bartholomew's series, I recognize this Pirate of the Frisians name. Not that I think I'll be ever playing against him because he's 2400. Chagorn Defense, Happy Mode, all Road to Beating Finns. I remember that name popped up towards the end of the series. So I recognize some of these names, which is kind of cool. And I'm playing in the open section because I am right here, currently rated 1923 in classical lichess. Granted, it's been primarily 30 plus 0 games, and this format is 30 plus 30, but whatever, we'll figure it out. We'll see how we do. So 126 out of 199, definitely in the lower half of the field here, but we'll play against some. Hopefully, we'll play against some high-rated players, and then we'll see how it goes. I need a strong start, and the pairing in terms of rating does favor me. My first opponent is Adatot. I don't know how to pronounce that. Adatot. He's rated 1788, definitely towards the lower end. He could have played in the under 1800 section, but whatever. That's up to him, I guess. So he might be underrated. Who knows? So we got the pairings earlier in the day. I was still at work when I was preparing. So, I've already done a lot of preparation, but I'll kind of go over it here. I guess in the future, these prep videos may or may not be longer, depending on when I can actually do my preparation. Yeah, so this is his lichess database, I guess. So the player database, if you don't already know in lichess, you can, instead of doing the master, you go to the player database, hit the settings, and click on the name. You can select who you want to sort by and by what color. So I have the black pieces for this game. He has the white pieces, so as white, and I've checked off. I don't want to see any bullet games. Blitz games is I don't even know if he has blitz games. I did look at his profile very briefly. I can pull it up here on the side. That is not how you do this. How do I do this? @/ Okay, yeah, he doesn't even have a blitz rating, so yeah. So I'm not worried about blitz games being in the pool even. So this is probably an accurate representation of what he actually plays. So it looks like d4 and e4, which, okay, this doesn't really say much. So I looked at his d4 games, and with the black pieces, I can play 3 different things. I can play Nimzo. I can play King's Indian after something like knight c3, d6, or bishop g7, whatever. Or I can play f5 Dutch. His Dutch, he actually doesn't have. Oops, he doesn't have too many games against the Dutch, so I might reconsider this if he plays d4. He has g3 and c4. Okay, that's fine. But let me go over what I already have prepared, or mentally prepared, I guess. A bit of both. Hopefully you don't hear my dad yelling at my at the dog. We're dog sitting for my brother, so hopefully you don't hear him. But if you do, you can say hi to Sesame. Yeah, so after c4, g6, I noticed his win rate was like really bad. So that's one of the reasons why I was like, yo, maybe I should play this against him. So it seems like he plays knight c3, bishop g7, right? I mean, there's some other, like, there's a Grunfeld in here and there's a d6 move order, but I don't know how to play the Grunfeld very well. I only know, like, the thematic pawn structure where you get, like, these pawns on here, on these squares, e4, d4, and c3. So, like, let me not bother with the Grunfeld because I don't know it, and I'm not going to try to, spend 4 days trying to learn it for one game, Well, I don't actually know when the game is. I offered Saturday. He hasn't responded at the moment of me recording this. So he primarily plays e4. I see one game of e3. I wonder if this is just like a mouse slip or something. But I'm just going to go e4. Okay. Slight cut. Hopefully it's not too bad. Yeah, so e4, d6. This is all in my notes on what he plays. I can just read off of this too. So knight f3, he has a game of queen c2, which I'm not really concerned about. Queen c2 is... I mean, I'm going to play castles anyway. e5. Queen c2, e5. I'm actually not super familiar with this, so maybe I'll take a look at it later. But he more commonly plays knight f3, so I'm just going to go with knight f3. Knight f3, castles, bishop e2. Let's promote this variation. Bishop e2, e5, castles, and then he has a game of knight bd7. I think the theory move, well, there's a lot of moves here. a5 is possible, knight c6 is possible, knight a6 is possible, knight bd7. I think even taking here, followed by c6, I think is theory, if I'm not mistaken. Castle, take here. I could be wrong. Actually, I'm still like kind of in the process of learning King's Indian theory. I'm not very good at learning theory all too much anymore. I used to obsess over it when I was gonna say younger, but that's not the right word. When I was less skilled. When I was less skilled, I used to obsess over theory, and now I've realized there's no point. So yeah, I see knight c6, c5, going into like a Benoni kind of thing. e5, knight bd7. Yeah, so e5 I know is theory, like the main line. And he has a game of castles. And if anyone's wondering why this is not a free pawn, it's because you can take on e4, right? And even though the knight's hanging, so is his knight, right? So if he takes, I just take. Or you can throw in the queen trade first and then do something like this. And it's equal. It's not very exciting. I think black can castle or even play something like bishop g5, rook e8. You just play chess. Life goes on. I think it's something like this. And I think you put the knight here initially and then go here or something. I don't remember. But this is a very like whatever position. Yeah, so castles. He has a game against someone where he played knight, where the player is black, played knight bd7. I mean, again, we're at one game, so I have to say, like, most of what he ends up at is just one game of some line that I already know up to, so it's kind of hard to prepare in that sense. A lot of this is going to be just like getting ready for what he's going to play against me and just figuring it out after maybe like 7 or 8 moves. It's like, yeah, I know more theory, but like most people don't know a lot of theory, so whatever. So if he plays d4, we're probably going to get a King's Indian mainline classical with castling on move 7. I need to figure out what I actually want to play here, which I realize I'm looking at my notes and I stopped at bishop e2 and I was like, yeah, I'll figure it out after e5. So here, so let me go to the master's database. So, it is knight c6 is a move, knight a6 is a move. Yeah, like I was saying, ed4 less common, knight bd7 less common. I think the move I want to play is knight c6. I want to provoke him to play d5, and then after knight e7, let's say knight d2. So again, here there's like so many moves, right? Knight d2, knight d1, b4, all theory. I think bishop g5 even. Well, I mean, obviously this is theory, but from here, I'm definitely going to be... I'm already playing on my own after knight c6 because... Well, not on my own, but he's out of anything I can prepare for. So knight e1 is like the main move. Knight d2 is another very good move. b4 is like the bayonet. And I actually don't super know how to play against b4. Like, I've looked at it. It's just been a while. No one plays this. So, okay. So knight h5, rook e1. f5. Okay, yeah, so like normal King's Indian nonsense. But anyway, d5, or sorry, knight c6. This is what I want to play, knight c6. I have nothing against the player. Indexing 41 other players first. Sure. But yeah, so like, I'll go here, and then I'll just have to rely on my theory and my understanding of King's Indian to figure that out from there. I want to come back and quickly look at f5. He's played g3 and he's played c4. Let's play c4 first on the board because it's more consistent. Knight c3. So he has 2 games against the Leningrad Dutch with g6, bishop g7. I played a classical, which is e6, bishop here, or even here. You can try to trade it off. The system I like as white goes something like, let's just say knight f3 here, queen c2, castle, could go bishop here, but let's just say here, and then I like this b6 setup. You're going to fianchetto out of this bishop, so let's say here, castle. You can take here. You want to damage the structure ideally, but if they take here, you can go here and make him waste time. Something like this. And if they take, you get tempo. Or you can even consider this. At the time of recording, Levy just put out a video where he's playing another OTB classical, and he gets into a position like this, but with white, where he goes b3, bishop b2, and then eventually plays like e3, f4. So it's like a reverse Dutch in a way. I kind of like this. When I played the Dutch a lot more, I like this kind of position because this... People forget about this bishop. I have an over the board game where I was using this bishop quite well. And then there was like a mate idea like here, something like that. So, yeah, so he has played against the Leningrad. Let's check his G3 games. Okay, so knight f6, bishop g2, g6. Okay, again, over Leningrad. This is a classical. So let's go bishop g2, knight f6, knight f3. Okay, so this is what I was talking about, this kind of setup. Now you go bishop b4. Yeah, bishop d2 is an annoying move because it breaks the pin. It's like you want to double the pawns, but the bishop is not even misplaced on d3 or c3. So this guy took immediately. I would have castled first, but sure. Knight e4 here, d6, this. Queen g5. Yeah, wait, what is going on here? c6? You can go knight. Actually, no, that's not so pretty. Knight c6, but then wait. Oh, he played c6, right. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, you just castle and you're fine. Bishop takes d6. What? Can I not just take somehow? Anyway. Yeah, so there's not a lot of data on the Dutch against him. So I'm not super sure if I want to just go into it blindly. I haven't played the Dutch recently, so I'm a little rusty on playing it in general. So I might skip that if he does play d4. But it does seem like he goes for this classical c4 knight c3 setup. Going back against e4, so I used to play the Caro Kann with c6, of course. But I've been recently playing a Sicilian, the Accelerated Dragon. c5. The crazy thing, like, he has a crazy win rate against the Sicilian. But when I was looking at his games, so like he goes into an open Sicilian. So I'm gonna play knight c6. He has wins against e6, d6. I'm curious what he plays here. d4, okay, open Sicilian. c4, knight d4. Like, I'm not impressed by that. d6, knight c3, knight f6. Okay, so Shenanigan. Whatever. So I don't really care about these. Well, I'm not going to play them myself, so like I don't know why I need to bother to look at them. So yeah, d4, open Sicilian, g6. He has one game against the Accelerated Dragon where he plays bishop c4. Yeah, so this is what I was looking at a lot throughout the day. Bishop g7, of course. And then he plays this knight c6. And I thought this was a weird move, but it turns out it's theory. I haven't looked at Accelerated Dragon theory very closely. Like, I kind of roughly know where things go and what should happen. So it's like, I'm going by the seat of my pants here. So, castles. So he has one game here. And, oh, yeah, right. Okay, so, yeah. My opponent's opponent just blundered his rook on move 11, so this is not really a data point. I mean, he played e5 against knight f6, which is kind of annoying, right? So, like, white's up a pawn. I think the position is still roughly equal, but, like, I don't really want to play positions where I'm down a pawn. Yeah, so it's still roughly equal. Rook b8, knight c3, castle. Rook e1, bishop b7 probably, or d6. I mean, yeah, you're gonna win the pawn back probably, but like I don't want to bother with that kind of position. So, this is where the bulk of my prep was. I was looking at positions after castles d6. This is the most popular move in the Masters database. In the lichess database, I know it's not as popular. Knight f6 is a much more natural move, but again, knight f6, e5. And I don't like this position. Right? Down a pawn, you still gotta do stuff like this. I can castle even. I don't have to do this right away. But yeah, I was not a fan of this position because I'm still down a pawn. I have to try to win it back, and d6. So it's interesting. People play knight c3, c3 even. c3 makes sense. You're blunting the bishop. Queen f3 is interesting. Oh yeah, you're going for the mate. Masters database, knight c3. Again, no games as for my opponent in this line. So what I was looking at earlier today was so obviously this is like a very open-ended position. Not open, but open-ended, where it's like black can play a lot of things here, like bishop f4, rook e1, knight c3, pawn to c3, h3. I was seeing on h3. Like, white can play anything here. So I was trying to find the plans in this position, and I'll show you. Hopefully we get this in the game, but I'll show you what I was looking at. So I was looking at d6. Let's just say knight c3. Queen c7. So the idea is that after knight f6, white wants to play e5, and it's kind of annoying because if oh shoot. So let me promote this. So knight c3, queen c7. Right. So the idea is if you go knight f6 right away, e5, take, and now your king is kind of stuck in the middle. Like, it's not bad. I guess that's kind of annoying. Also rook e8. Or rook d1, sorry. Yeah, I don't like this position either. So takes, maybe like king c7. And something like this, right? Like, I don't know. Like, black is fine, but I don't like these pawns. So instead of playing knight f6 right away, you kind of try to blunt or take the sting out of e5. Rip Daniel, that was a great phase of his. So d6 first. Queen c7 is another idea, but not as strong. I don't remember exactly why. I did look at queen c7 right away, and I don't remember exactly what I saw that I didn't like. I don't know. Anyway, but I'm going to start with d6. So d6, let's just say knight c3, queen c7. Again, you're trying to like indirectly stop e5. Queen c7, so bishop f4, really trying to go for it here. So knight f6, queen d2, creating the battery. Now I can castle or I can go knight d7. One of the things I'm remembering or trying to remember is that against bishop f4, you want to play knight d7 so that e5 doesn't work at all. Because right now it's protected twice, and if white were to play e5, it'd only be attacked twice, and it's defended. Wait, it's not defended twice. What am I saying? Anyway, okay, so I guess queen d2 castles. Oh yeah, okay, so rook fe1, and now I have to play knight d7 because if he plays e5 now, it's defended twice. All right, so now I play knight d7. Let's just say, again, this is like a move that I don't know if we'll play it, but we'll see. Rook a d1, right? Very logical move, very natural. Rook a d1, and now the main idea in this position, a5, a4. This is kind of computer-esque. Like, I know AlphaZero, there's a book called Game Changers, I think, where they talk about how AlphaZero plays chess and how we can learn from it. And one of the things that computers love doing is pushing their flank pawns just to gain space and be a nuisance like 20 moves down the line. And they show example games of computers playing each other. I think it's computers playing each other. And it's just like they just push a5, a4, or let's say like a4, a5 for white, or h4, h5 is white. And it's like they just leave the pawn there. It gets blockaded. 20 moves later in an endgame, that pawn becomes a problem for their opponent because it's so pushed up. And once you, like, let's say sack on like b3 or something, then it's like, oh, you suddenly have a pass pawn and you just, like, you know, sack the piece for it. So that's the idea. A5, I was just going to say, like, okay, maybe b3, maybe. Knight a4 is an alternative. But let's just say b3, knight b6. Threatening to win the bishop pair, tempo, or sorry, not tempo, threatening to win the bishop pair and doubling the pawns. So I was thinking bishop f1 just to protect not that this is a threat, but like bishop f1, I don't know. Probably bishop e2 is better. But let's just say bishop f1 and then a4. Right, and you don't really want to take here as as white, because after, let's say, here, your knight is hanging, so you have to take. And now this pawn is loose. You could defend it with like c4 maybe? No, not maybe c4. I don't know, but now this pawn is kind of weak, right? And I can easily go like queen a7, move this bishop, play rook a8, and I'll just like pile up on it pretty easily, I think. And then I'll win a pawn, I'll try to win some other pawns, blah, 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 I'll play the endgame. And you can't really play a3 because, oh wait, that's not where my bishop is. What the fuck? Actually, even worse is that the a1 square, you can't even put anything on a1. At least not the rook. You probably don't want to put the rook there. So this is one line I looked at. So let me just recap it. So knight c3 is the most common move, developing the knight. Pretty natural. Queen c7, playing against e5, bishop f4, knight f6, developing. Queen d2 to try to trade off the bishop. He can also go rook e1 first, in which I would go knight d7. Again, e5 is the main idea for white. Black is just trying to castle. So let's say queen d2 castle, rook fe1, knight d7, right? Trying to stop e5. Bring the other rook in. You push this pawn forward, and I guess I didn't show knight a4, but you still go knight b6. Bishop's hanging. You could go here. Yeah, bishop b3. I mean, I actually didn't look at this. So bishop b3. I was thinking just trading here. Yeah, if I trade, I can take this. You go here. I'm up a pawn. I'm going to play like bishop d7. And I'll eventually contest the b file. Like, I don't see any problem with this position for black. Or white. Yeah, so the computer agrees. So, bishop there. Oh, it wants bishop g4 first. Bishop g4, b1. And then after we trade now, well, now I can't trade this. c5. I mean, this is still good for black. Like, my bishop is fantastic here. This bishop kind of sucks. I mean, this bishop's okay, but it's a little loose. I can easily go here and try to trade it off. So... yeah. Anyway, we'll figure that out from there. But the general idea is a5, a4, knight b6. If e5 is being threatened, play knight d7. And then we'll figure it out from there. I realize I've been going on for almost 30 minutes, so let me just quickly go back. So the other thing I haven't talked about yet is if he plays c6, which he plays the two knights against the Caro. So knight f3 here. I can pull this back up. Knight c3. And the two knights is something I'm not very familiar with as black, even though I've played the Caro Kann since I started learning chess. The two knights is just something I never played against enough to really solidify what I like. I used to play d-takes, but then after here, like, I just didn't like any of the positions after a while. So like this is fine for black, the Tartakower, but I didn't like double f pawns after some time. Bishop f5 just didn't make sense to me. I'm trying to remember exactly why. Wait, this is bishop g4, sorry. I was also considering this, but then we get into like a weird main line, but I don't have knight d7 already played, so like I lost the tempo somewhere. So I didn't like that. Bishop g4 is the main line, I think. Or I think it's bishop g4 first, and then later d takes. But you can see, like, I'm not really sure like how to approach this. I remember trying to learn bishop g4, but turn the engine off. He has games with 2 games of e takes d5, cd, bishop e2, e6. Yeah, d4 is pretty natural. Bishop e4, castle. No, bishop c3. Knight e7. Okay, but yeah, I'm not super familiar with these positions. You can probably play for c4. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just not really interested in playing against the two knights, so I will simply not play the Caro. Someone's played a6 against him. Okay, sure. But yeah, he's going to play the two knights. I don't really like playing against the two knights in the Caro. So I'll probably end up playing an accelerated dragon, getting to this position. So knight f3, go open Sicilian, bishop c4. I mean, like, I should look at some other options for black here, because he could, for all I know, be preparing against me and play like a Rossolimo. Because my stats as shoot, no, 8 dot, it is white. I don't know, can I do this? It's indexing other players. Okay, so we have to wait for this, but I don't have a very good grasp of the Rossolimo, so this is something I'm also going to look at just to brush up on what I should be doing here. But the idea is to play accelerated dragon. He's going to play bishop c4. He's trading, and then I just need to remember d6, queen c7, and then the general plan. If he's threatening e5, play knight d7. Once I've gotten knight d7 in and I'm castled, I can play for a5, a4, knight b6, and try to play against the queen side with the open b file, rook on a1, or sorry, rook on a8. It's very useful. Bishop maybe e6. I did see bishop e6 in a lot of positions as well, trying to trade like this, which I thought was kind of interesting, but we'll see. Yeah, so actually I also wanted to look, something I didn't get to do was see his recent games. So he actually hasn't really played recently. Today's the 8th, and this is the 26th. That's like 8 plus 4 days, so almost 2 weeks he hasn't played on lichess. I wonder if he's played somewhere else. But he's played 10-5. Okay, so he played e4. He's playing black here. Kind of filtered by white. 500 games. Advanced search. White, 8 at tot. Okay, yeah, so this is him. So, 1 week ago. 1 week ago. When was this played? Because it said it wasn't, nothing was played for 2 weeks. Oh, why is this me? What is going on? Okay. Okay, yeah, so yeah, this is a week ago. Anyway, whatever. This was a French. I don't really care too much to look at these games, but he's been playing e4 from what I understand. So e4, 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 e4. Yeah, so he's been playing e4. Oh, he has a 30-30 game a month ago in a Benko. Let me just take a look at this real quick. Or I'll look at it in a sec. e4, e4, yep, e4. He did play a d4 game, so I'll take a close look at that as well. Oh, he plays the Scotch Gambit. That's funny. I play the Scotch Gambit, and I'm curious. 10-5. Yep, a lot of e4, and now we're getting into 3 months ago where he's playing a lot of d4. Okay. So he used to play d4, but now he's playing e4. The question is, like, is he going to play what he knows better? I mean, well, is he going to play d4, e4? Okay, so Benko accepted. Doesn't take the second pawn. Okay, looks pretty good. Pretty normal. But he's playing quite quickly. Or maybe his opponent's playing quickly. I don't know. Because it's been 25 moves and they've spent minus... Well, I mean, it's hard to say with increments. So I don't know how much actual physical time has passed at this point. But it's only been 5 minutes burned. So probably like 20 minutes per side. Which is quite fast. He's just down a piece. I don't know what happened here. Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, he just played mainline d4, c4, and then got into a Benoni. Queen's Gambit declined mainline with bishop here. Bishop g5. I don't know if this is theory. I don't know the Queen's Gambit super well. Okay. Going into like a Gambit, Queen's Gambit style position. But yeah, he miscalculated this. Like this counterattack doesn't work because you take on c6 or f6, sorry. Yeah, so whatever. But he equalized somehow. You know, rook endgame, probably a draw. This looks very drawish. I mean, he did win. Yeah, black is in zigzag now. Cool. And then this was a... Why is the sound working suddenly? Whatever. Scotch Gambit, c3, good. Castle, okay, nice. I like this line. Okay. Oh, wait, what the heck is this? This works? Wait, why can't black take? Oh, duh, because you take here. Oh, but he blundered back. So, trade pieces. You're not supposed to trade again because now you don't have an attack. Your queen is gone. You're down 2 pawns. So, alright. This is interesting, but probably something like this. Oh, knight f6 looks really juicy. I wonder if this works. Bishop takes. There has to be a mate here somewhere, but I'm not seeing it. But anyway, I'm not even going to be playing those against him. So yeah, so that's the prep. Against D, if he plays d4, I'm going to play King's Indian and go into a main line with 7 castling. Or sorry, not 7 castling. Bishop e2, e5. And then we'll see what he plays after I play e5. But if he plays e4, I'll go into an accelerated dragon and prepare against 5 bishop c4. And after reviewing that position, I kind of understand what's vaguely going on, but maybe I should look into it deeper. I also need to prep some of my weak points, which I don't even know what my weak points are right now, but it's probably the Rossalimo and I don't know. It's black. Maybe some like odd gambits, but he doesn't play gambits, so whatever. But yeah, so I will see you whenever the match actually is, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, so going live. Let me put my phone face down. I'll open up the chat room real quick. Quick chat message. How do we do this better? D4. Interesting. Let me do this. Bring this down a little bit. All right, good enough. I'm going to focus on playing. Yeah, so f6. Okay, so I was not expecting d4, to be honest. His recent games on lichess was e4. Let me put this away. Okay. g6. Bishop g7. Yeah, so I looked at his d4 games, and he's going to go into the main line with, yeah, bishop e2 and e5 castles, yeah. Okay, so I have a lot of options here. Castle's a very non-committal move. And the question is, how do I want to play? I think I've been playing knight c6. The idea of trying to provoke d5. Knight a6 I know is a move too. I could also take, but I don't really want to play that position out. I think I'll play knight c6. Yeah, I was supposed to look at this a little more deeply. Okay, d5, yep. Knight e7. And I have some tea from a little earlier that I'm still sipping on. Nothing like a little John Bartholomew impersonation. But I mean, my plan in this position is basically just knight d7, f5. This knight on d7 can go to c5. Okay, bishop e3. He's probably going to go for queen d2 castle. Knight g4 is also an idea. I gotta remember, I have a lot of time. I have a lot of time. Like, even more than my practice games, so I can sit and think. I can knight g4. Knight g4, h3 I'll take here. Knight g4, queen d2. Again, I'll take. Knight g4. G4, bishop g4, bishop g5, h6. Bishop h5. I can go queen e8 maybe. Queen e8, h3. I think I would win a pawn there maybe if he goes h3. And I go g5. Both moves are good. It's just a matter of which one I want to play. Could also go a5, but then I'll play he could play h3. He doesn't have to. I'm gonna go. I kind of want to wait for him to play queen d2. I can go h6. h6, queen d2, knight g4 then works. So I think I will go h6. There's also knight d2, but I mean knight d2, it's the same idea. I'll be able to force the trade of the knight for bishop. He can go knight e1. It's fine. I guess in the meantime, we'll try to fix this little... I don't really know how to fix this. Yeah, that's good enough. It's fine. I don't need to worry about that too much. b4. Okay. So now knight g4, bishop e2, and I feel like my knight hasn't really done much. And it's also kind of stuck, and if he plays h3, I kind of have to go to knight f6 again. Knight g4, bishop e2. f5. h3, knight f6. ef. It's probably fine. Knight d7 doesn't really have any positional threatenings, for lack of a better word. a6, a5, a6. I don't think there's a point to play a6. a6, b5. I haven't really accomplished anything, so I think I'll go... Now there's also knight h5. Knight h5. Knight e5, g6, or sorry, g3, f5. And now it's a little awkward to play f4. Is it awkward to play f4? I think knight g4 is the most straightforward. Yeah, okay. So now, I think... f5. There's no knight takes here, because I can take with the knight, right? I think we can go f5. Queen c2. I mean, he's not threatening to take on f5. Kind of want to play rook f7. I could also play f4. f4 feels a little early. No, knight f6. Yeah, I'll let him provoke. I'll give him the opportunity to play h3. So rook f7 and f4 are my candidates. Both look fine. Do I need the f7 square for anything? No. I don't think the difference is that much. I think I'll go f4. Just really close it down. I mean, I don't need to release the tension though, but I don't know. Is there some, am I hallucinating with like here, here, here? Probably. Okay, yeah, knight d2. Alright, my knight is not hanging. So maybe rook f7 now, or I can go g5. Both look fine. I mean, I'm not really scared of anything here yet, and rook f7, I'll go g5, I think. I mean, I have a very clear plan, and so does he. It's just a matter of who is first. f3, okay. I mean, knight f6, right? No questions. A4, okay. H5, G4. Just feels right. I don't think I need to play knight G6 yet. Or rook F7 for the matter. Let's go H5. One key idea is that you don't really want to react to your opponent's threats, if at all possible. But I think, so G5, sorry, G4, C5. G5, or G4, C5. If you trade on G4, I think that's fine. So G4, C5. Knight G6, CD, CD. Maybe I start with Knight G6, C4. Knight G6, C5, Rook F7, CD, CD. And Knight C4, Bishop F8. B5. It's still defended properly enough. But if I spend the tempo to play G4, I might not have enough time. So let's go Knight G6. I know I'm reacting to this idea, but it feels warranted. Because I don't want to put my knight on E8. Like, it does a good job defending, all things considered. And maybe it is warranted, but yeah, I think maybe there was a Danya game, a speedrun game, where he does play knight E8, and it looks kind of ugly, but he still manages to attack. If I'm not mistaken. So if CD, CD, Knight C4, I still have time to make a move on the king side. So I'll probably play G4. But then if he plays B4, he'll have two attackers. So I'll have to play Bishop F8. Or did I say B4? I meant B5. Now the question is, how does he add more pressure to D6? I don't know. might have to play like bishop b5. No, that's too slow. Well, if he plays b5, he's not playing knight b5, so he might play b4. Or sorry, b6. Sack the pawn so he can play knight b5. Can I play a6 in that position? I don't like that b6 pawn. But I'm not sure how white breaks through. Oh, I guess, no, there's no bishop a6 because I can play rook a6. So I think I'm fine. I should have some time. So is my plan g4, g3? g4, g3, h3, bishop h3, gh. I mean, that looks promising. b5 immediately. So what's the difference about b5 immediately? So let's just say I play g4, cd, cd, knight c4, bishop f8. And then he plays b6. b6, a6. I don't even take the pawn. No, I can take the pawn. This will check. If he plays cd, cd, b6. So g4. What's his move? Maybe a5, but I feel it's too slow. c6 is not a threat. b6 immediately? Feels wrong. b6 immediately, ab, ab, cb, g4, a5. I'll just continue with g3. I'm just gotta find a way to move my f6 knights. But I think g4. I don't think he has much. At least not yet. b6. This doesn't feel right. I can play AB. A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D, C, D. I don't see the point. I can ignore it and have him play. No, but he might play BC. He might play B takes C7. And after rook takes, pawn takes on D7. And that's no good. So what if I play AB? AB, if he takes on B6 again, I don't think I care. Maybe this is a situation. No, maybe I could play knight e8. Knight e8 is interesting, but I think the main problem is B takes C7. So if I take on B6, and then if he takes back on B6, wait, but if I play AB, 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 CB, CB, what's the point? I think I can play AB, but I feel like I can also play G3. But I think I want to... Yeah, no, I think I'll play AB. Okay. Now what happens if I take on B6? What am I missing? CB, knight B5, bishop F8, knight C4, knight E8. What's the difference? I could also let him take on C7 and play rook C7. I actually like that. So we'll go G4. I mean G3. So notably, I don't want to play gh2. I do not want to play g takes h2 because then he'll play king h1, and how am I getting through? If he plays hg, and then I'll play fg, and then I have knight f4 coming. What if he does nothing? Then I can play knight e8 with the idea of queen h4. If he plays CB, or sorry, if he plays BC, I'll play rook takes. h3, bishop h3, pawn takes h3, knight c4. Okay. So my ideal was knight e8. I can play knight e8 first so that I can threaten queen h4. Bishop f8. But I really want to play knight e8 so I can play queen h4. But I don't see anything better. I don't see any other problems. If he sacks, I'm fine. So I just knight e8, right? Covering both of these pawns as well. I mean, I'm going to take here if he plays BC, like I've been saying. Yeah, now queen h4 is coming. So maybe he'll play something like rook fb8, but I don't think that changes anything. Like if he tries to make a run for it, rook fb8, queen h4, bishop d3, queen h2, king f1. Oh, I guess you are escaping, huh? Queen h1, king e2. King e2, but then I can take on g2. Take on g2, something like king d3 or king d1. The queens see each other now. Oh, knight b5. Uh-huh. So queen h4, h3 is forced. Queen h4, h3, bishop h3. I mean, like, you take, but then I'll play bishop h2, or bishop g2, and you're getting mated. Queen h4, I don't see a defense after queen h4. I don't see a defense after queen h4. Queen h4, hg. hg. No, I'm still threatening Queen h2 mate. Queen h4, hg, rook fb1. Queen h2 is still mate. No, it's not mate. King f1. Yeah, Queen h1 is still mate. So hg doesn't work. This just looks like mate. I don't see the defense. h3, bishop takes h3. If you move the rook, I'm going to take on g2. And it's still mate. If you move the bishop, h3, bishop h3, bishop d3. I don't have to take on g2. I can just go back. Maybe he's surviving. Maybe. So I'm looking at h3, bishop h3, bishop d3. I could... no, I should not take on g2, because then queen g2, and he's defending. So h3, bishop h3, bishop d3. Maybe I'll just go back to, like... I'll just go back, bishop d7. Threatening queen h2. And I mean, you're still mated, right? Because you can't run. Maybe like rook f2, queen h2. Wait. h3, bishop h3. Bishop d3. Bishop d7, rook f2. Queen h2 check, king f1. You're actually escaping, but I'm gonna win the rook. So it's not mate, but you're gonna lose a rook. What about h3, bishop h3, rook f2? No, because if rook f2 right away, I'll just take on f2 and then king f1. Yeah, okay. So this was my idea. Can I not just go here? No, because you have bishop d3. I don't know why I didn't calculate this. Or see this for that matter. H4 looks way too slow. I think knight H4 works. I didn't calculate it very well, but it just looks... No, I need to not be in this mindset. Nothing looks, okay? Just actually figure it out. I also have ideas of bishop f8 or rook g7. But right now I'm threatening g2. Am I threatening g2? g2, king f2. But I'll win the rook. At least. Actually, why does it look like he's surviving? Well, if you move the f rook, I have knight f3. Do I have knight f3 now? No, rook takes. g2. g2, rook f2. No, g2, king f2. Queen f3. g2 still looks winning. g2, king f2, queen f3, king e1, gf1 queen. That should be mate. No, because you have bishop takes. So it's not mate. Yet. g2, king f2. g2, king f2. Queen f3, king e1. gf1 queen check, bishop, or even rook. No, rook's not there. Bishop f1. Knight g2. No, knight g2, bishop takes. So g2. G2, king f2, queen f3. Queen f3, king e1. G2, king gf2. What if I go queen g3 first? Queen g3. King e2. But then rook takes. I think this still has to be right. Is knight f3 not mate? No, because of this. Is there really no mate here? I can win the queen, obviously, but I was kind of hoping for more. Knight d4, king d2. I mean, this should still be winning. I'm just going to play it. No, I don't have that. Oh, God. Okay. It's fine. I think this is still pretty good, though. We'll see. Because this is a problem. Yeah, I missed this backwards move. F3s. I'm looking at F3. F3 back. F3 king d1. G1 queen. King e2, king d2, queen f2. Bishop blocks, queen takes mate. F3, king d2 immediately, queen f2. I'm sure he'll find a move. I just don't know what it'll be. Oh my god, does he have 95? 95 f3, knight f3, no, queen f3. Queen f3, king e1 or d2. E1 I promote, and then d2 I go queen f2. Takes there. Does that even stop anything? Is it not just f3 mate? F3 can't take. So king d1 or king d2. F3, king d1, promote, king d2, and then queen g or f2. Queen 3, g or f2. And that's mate, right? No, bishop blocks, but my pawn's still on f3, so I can take on e2. King d2 immediately. I just go here and there, right? So I think f3 works. All right, this pawn, even though I thought I had the fork, this pawn is actually cutting off very important escape squares. Yeah, so then I just go queen f2. And then here I just promote. Block, mate. All right, game one in the bag. All right, let's create a study. Lone Wolf. What season is this? Whatever. Okay. Woo. Let me send an update. I know you didn't see it, but spectator room. Where's the chat room? We did say GLHF and GG's. All right. Yeah, so I was not expecting d4. Let me do full screen so you can see what I'm writing. And let me set this to enlisted. I was preparing e4 since that's what my opponent had been playing most recently in his lichess profile. But I did see he played d4. I thought he just didn't prepare as much as against what I thought he'd play if he did play e4. Okay, so knight f6. Yep. Yeah, I knew we would get this position, and remembered thinking to myself, I'd just figure it out from here, since it's main line, or I would say classical variation of the KID, King's Indian Defense. Castle knight c6. I don't remember. I mean, I've learned the King's Indian from like so many different sources that like everyone recommends different things. I've seen an e takes d4 recommendation. I've seen knight a6 recommended. I've seen a5. So it's like I'm just going knight c6. I like knight c6, which let me just check the database. Oh, okay, so it's the most common move. I thought it wasn't. Okay, anyway. Whole idea is to provoke d5, which is what he did, right? Provoking d5. Let me just skip through here and do my notes at the end. h6, yeah, here I was just like, I don't know, maybe a5 instead. Let me turn on the computer just real quick. So, okay, it did like knight g4. But it looked messy after something like this, here. Oh, this still works. Yeah, because I was thinking you don't have the G pawn to take back, but I guess computer is like, nah, just go here. And you'll win the bishop pair, and you try to open the position, and I guess, yeah, okay, I see it. Bishop pair. Black will win the bishop pair and then try to open the position with e4. Yeah, so I didn't see this all the way through. I feel like I've seen this idea in a different line. In the, is it the Gligerich or is it some other thing? I don't remember, but okay. So I could have done this. Okay, so h6, b4. I was like, okay, this is like a weird bayonet kind of thing. Knight g4, bishop. Yeah, this was all fine. I mean, f5, this whole idea. Queen c2. Okay, so I didn't have to go f4 right away. I think I did consider knight f6. Right. But he goes knight d2, g5, f3. Oh, I could have went knight e3. Oh, I missed knight e3. I actually totally missed this. Okay. Yeah. I wonder why. I mean, I wonder why I missed it. I think I was too tunnel vision on the schematic of the KID. Right? Like, clear opportunity presented itself. I just didn't take it. because I'm like, oh, King's Indian ideas. Okay, my bad. Okay. I mean, I'm not gonna be too harsh on the evaluation. Like, if there's a difference of like 0.5, it's even then it's like not that bad. Like, this is one of the things I go by when you like only have the computer to help analyze. Like, if the difference is less than 0.5, it really doesn't mean anything. AB. Okay, so computer does like G3. Yeah, I was thinking about taking here, but I also felt like it wasn't necessary. Like, I win a pawn, but I don't need to win the pawn. Like, the whole point of the position is not to win pawns. It's to checkmate my opponent. So G3, knight C4. Oh, it doesn't like 98 at all. Okay, wow. So this is I'll mark that on my own. I'm surprised, since I thought queen was devastating. Devastating. But it gives rook fc1 as a defense. And now if queen h4, h3, bishop here, here, here. Ah. The difference compared to my later bishop takes h3 sacrifice is that black already spent the tempo to move the f rook out of the way. I see. Whereas if I went here, I was not expecting this. If he takes... Oh, the idea is you wait, do you do the same thing? Well, I guess kind of. So it's a similar idea, it's just that... because you're also... No, you're not threatening that. Wait, what? So if you take here, there, bishop f1, bishop c1. Interesting. Why bishop c1? And if I take, or I could push. Let's just say pawn takes. Oh, that's bad. Wait, this is still bishop c1 here. It wants bishop takes. And to sack the rook. Huh. So what if I go here? Then I still have this idea. But if I take... This just looks bad anyway. Alright, I'll take a deeper look at this, but I didn't think this worked. Well, I didn't think about it at all, to be honest, so okay. Knight b5, still winning. Well, I wouldn't say still winning, but he didn't see the defensive idea. Yeah, and I mean, okay, so rook fc1's such a natural developing move, but I can also see why he didn't consider it, because he was like trying to go after these pawns. And this is like in my opinion, this is like a second-rate move where it's like it doesn't actively do this, but it still helps your position as white, and it also has the idea of being able to run away because you'll have time to play bishop d3 here, which is really hard to see from a distance. So yeah, queen h4, bishop takes, pawn takes, queen takes, bishop d3, knight here. Yep, good. g2 is correct. Rook here doesn't really work. Take here, check here. Now it says knight c7 and just... Oh, I see. Okay, I see the point. The point is that you have this. So I actually thought this was a blunder. But the computer still thinks it's overwhelmingly winning for black. Rook f1 is the idea. And after f3, now I can't go, well, now he's an escape route. Well, actually not really. Oh, bishop h6, interesting. And then you go here, and it's basically game over. I could have taken on f. So if you got here, can I take right away? Technically, but it's not as good. Check. Let's just say here. And then I can go here. Still winning, but not clear. Or I wouldn't say not clear, but just not. I missed mate in 3. I found mate in 4. I missed mate in 3. Oh yeah, I didn't see this check. This was faster. But f3 still does the job. Okay. So I would say, like, quick glance takeaways. I tend to tunnel vision on ideas, typical ideas, and generalizations. Typical ideas, or what I've already formulated in my head, but don't look around for other or better ideas. All right. So overall, this game was good. I mean, I missed the fork here, right? Which goes with what I was saying, where I tunnel vision on ideas, the line of 6 idea. And then I also missed, yeah, this move being bad was not what I thought. I thought it made a lot of sense. But I didn't see this idea. And you can't take because I have queen h4. Yeah, I didn't see that. But that's really interesting. Okay. I'm going to annotate this on my own, but I guess for now, thanks for watching this. Next week's game, I don't know when it's going to be, but you'll see the video when it's done. So take care, guys.